Did you know that America recruited Nazis in order to go to the moon? After the guns of World War II fell silent, a new kind of battle began. It wasn't fought with bullets or bombs, but with ideas, innovation, and influence. This was the dawn of the Cold War, a period of intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both superpowers raced to establish dominance in every conceivable field: politics, economics, military power, and, most importantly, science. But to win this battle, the United States had to make a controversial decision, one that would remain hidden from public knowledge for decades: recruiting Nazi scientists under a top-secret program known as Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip wasn't just about gathering any scientists. It specifically targeted the best and brightest from Germany's wartime research programs: engineers, physicists, chemists who had propelled the Nazi war machine to terrifying heights. These were the men behind the advanced weaponry that nearly changed the course of the war. Chief among them was Wernher von Braun, the brilliant architect of the V-2 rocket, the world's first long-range guided ballistic missile. But von Braun, like many others in Operation Paperclip, was deeply entrenched in the Nazi regime, holding party membership and even utilizing Jewish labor to build his rockets. When the war ended, von Braun and his team surrendered to the Americans, not out of loyalty, but fear. They feared falling into Soviet hands. The US government quickly realized their potential value. The Soviets were already scouring Germany for technological secrets and personnel, and the Americans couldn't afford to fall behind. Thus began Operation Paperclip, a mission cloaked in secrecy and, for many, moral ambiguity. The recruitment process was complicated. Publicly, the US had denounced the Nazi regime and committed to bringing its leaders to justice. But like always behind closed doors, priorities shifted. The government meticulously sanitized the records of these scientists. Nazi affiliations were scrubbed, and their involvement in wartime atrocities was downplayed or ignored altogether. These men were given new identities, new homes, and, most importantly, a new mission: to advance American science and technology. But who were these scientists, and what exactly did they bring to the table? Wernher von Braun was the crown jewel of Operation Paperclip, but he wasn't alone. There was also Kurt Debus, a rocket engineer who later became the first director of NASA's Kennedy Space Center, and Hubertus Strughold, known as the father of space medicine, whose research laid the groundwork for modern astronaut safety. Yet Strughold's past included conducting experiments on prisoners in concentration camps, horrors that were deliberately overlooked for the sake of advancement. These men were sent to work on critical American projects. Some contributed to the development of intercontinental ballistic missiles, a key component of Cold War military strategy. Others worked on advancing aeronautics, leading to innovations that would shape the U.S. Air Force. But their most famous contributions were to the space program. Under von Braun's leadership, the team that had once built the V-2 rocket for Hitler now built the Saturn V rocket for NASA. It was this rocket that carried the Apollo missions to the moon, culminating in the historic Apollo 11 landing in 1969. But what did America think when they found out? What was the cost of this progress? Paperclip raises profound ethical questions. The U.S. government chose to overlook war crimes and align itself with individuals who had been complicit in atrocities. Was it justified to prioritize scientific advancement over moral accountability? Some argue that it was a necessary evil, a pragmatic decision to ensure national security and technological supremacy. Others contend that it undermined the very principles the U.S. claimed to stand for. The secrecy surrounding Operation Paperclip persisted for decades. When the program's details finally came to light, it sparked outrage and debate. Families of Holocaust victims were horrified to learn that those responsible for their suffering had been given safe haven and were even celebrated as heroes. Historians began to question the true cost of the space race and the Cold War, yet the legacy of Operation Paperclip is undeniable. The scientists recruited under this program propelled the United States into an era of unprecedented technological achievement. They played a crucial role in the space race, helping the U.S. land a man on the moon and establishing NASA as a global leader in space exploration. Their work also laid the foundation for modern aerospace engineering, medicine, and defense systems. But as we marvel at these accomplishments advancements, we must also confront the darker side of this story. Operation Paperclip forces us to grapple with uncomfortable truths about power, morality, and the compromises made in the name of progress. It reminds us that history is rarely black and white, and that the choices made in times of crisis often leave a complicated legacy. Is there maybe something going on today as dark and horrifying as this? Are there other hidden operations that will trigger a backlash once released to the public? Share your thoughts in the comments if you have heard of anything like this. So, was Operation Paperclip a necessary evil, or does it stand as a cautionary tale about the dangers of compromising ethical principles for the sake of technological advancement? The answer is not simple, and perhaps it never will be. What is clear, however, is that this secret program shaped the modern world in ways we are still coming to understand. From the rockets that carried astronauts to the moon to the technologies that defend nations, the legacy of Operation Paperclip is woven into the fabric of our history, both as a testament to human ingenuity and a reminder of its moral complexities.